Cooper, if you're watching this, you missed the warm-up because I didn't video it. But I was just telling everybody that today is one of the most important days in all of geometry. Okay? So, I know that we sometimes zone out. So Cooper, if you're zoning out as you watch the video, rewind it. Make sure that you're with me. Okay? This is an important lesson. Everybody with me? Is this in your way if I write? I don't understand why that doesn't work. Where's the marker? It's over there. Okay. So, we're probably going to split this into 2 days. We're going to do the easy things first, and then we'll build into it. Sound good? Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we are in 4.2. Obviously, it's 10, 30, 24, 4. Oh, my kiddos are so excited because it's trunk or treat in Lake Winnebago today. So we get to go to our yacht club, and they're so excited. They're like, my daughter's like, "What's it called again, Daddy? Am I trucker? I'm going trucking." I'm like, "Trunk or treat." She's like, "Say it again, Daddy." This was yesterday before her tooth started hurting. She is. I'm not saying that she's like Lucy with a lot of attitude, but she's like Lucy on steroids. So all of the attitude that Lucy has, quadruple it in a little version. And that's what it is. Like the same shoulder shrugs. Like she's the kind of kid that I'll tell Cole, don't do that. Like stop screaming, buddy. And she'll start poking him. "Stop that, Eliana!" And I'm like, "Cole!" She's like, she was doing. Then you just see her back there. Like, "Eliana!" And she's like, "What?" "Well, stop being a snot." You're like that too, aren't you? Well, that's good because you're not my little daughter. That'd be weird. That would be really weird. Okay, so we are in 4.2. We are talking about congruent figures. Now, there are some things that we need to go back to and review. So if I need to write them down, if you're like, "Mr. H, I don't remember what you're saying," I'll write them down. But all of you have been with me long enough that a lot of my teaching is I try to give you ideas and then we'll go from there. Okay? What does congruent mean? That's the first. We need to know what congruent means. What does congruent mean?
The same.
The exact same. The exact same. So if I say 2 circles are congruent, they're exactly the same. How could we prove that circles, though, are congruent? So let's start off with our first thing. Congruent circle. To prove that circles are congruent, there is only one thing that we need to know. And it's how we use what we use to solve for area and circumference. What did we use in those formulas to solve for both area and circumference that we have to know about a circle? Think about all the things in a circle. Well, then go back in your notes. That's where you got notes. Go back in your notes to where we did circles. It was chapter 2, I believe. Area equals pi something squared.
Radius.
What?
Is that here?
I don't know. What? No. I think you said first. What'd you say first? Before 180.
Radius.
Radius. We need the radius. So congruent circles. Circles are congruent if both have the same radius. Radius, remember, goes from the center of a circle to any edge. So if I tell you circle P has a radius of 3 centimeters, circle L has a radius of whatever I said, 7 centimeters, then circle P is congruent to circle L. Watch. So here's our example. And this is circle P. This is circle L, I can say circle P is congruent to circle L. Why? Because the radii are the same. Easy, right? Like you're like, man, Mr. H, you said this was gonna be a little bit hard. Nah, this is easy. Easy stuff. Easy peasy. Okay? So now we remember circles. So now we're gonna go back to those parallel lines. Okay? So in your mind's eye, you got the parallel lines. We've done a lot with parallel lines. Would you agree? Like we've done a lot with parallel lines. What does corresponding mean? So if you have to go back to your notes, go back. I told you corresponding means something. They're in the what?
Or next to each other.
Not next to each other. That's
Well,
adjacent.
adjacent, yeah.
That's adjacent. You knew it. You said it. Corresponding means they're going to be in the. Well, let's do this.
Interior?
Nah. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna circle those 4. I'm gonna circle these 4. Angle 1 corresponds with what? 5. This is the top left.
Oh, they're
This-
in the same spot.
They're in the same place. Corresponding means in the same place. So in this circle, it's top left. In this circle, it's top left. Corresponding means in the same place. That's important. So listen again. Corresponding means, say it again, Esther,
In the same place.
in the same place. Everybody with me? So, we're going to do 2 more new things. We're going to talk about anything that's congruent. Any congruent polygon. Now, a polygon, straight lines, vertices, right? No curves. So when we think polygons, we think triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, heptagons, octagons, septagons, hexagons, nonagons, decagons, dodecagons, onagons, okay? The shapes that we normally see. Don't give me that look, Julie, like you're like, what is he saying? I'm saying shapes, man. Okay, but shapes. Which one? Okay, fair enough. So, to be a congruent polygon, all corresponding sides and all corresponding angles are congruent. Corresponding. In the same place. In the same place. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. I'm going to let you copy this down, and then I'm going to show you some examples. This will definitely, like I had an idea that I was going to get through this in one day. I'm not. I want to really hammer some stuff home today. Sound good? Sound fair? So, here's a trapezoid. There's another trapezoid. We're going to call them A, B, C, D, M, N, P, T. Okay, you ready? Okay, there's a lot of notations on these. Be careful copying it down. If you need to scoot up so you can see this, I would suggest doing that today because you're going to need to be able to see everything. Okay. So, let's talk about it. Which one do you want to do first? The sides or the angles? Sides, okay. So I'm going to start and choose one side. I'm letting you know that this is congruent to this. I've made it that way. I'm going to start with segment AB is congruent to another segment. But it's important that we name it the correct way. So when I look at AB, notice how it has two little tick marks. I have to find something that has two little tick marks. Okay? So it's right here. But when I name it, I named it A to B. A has one arc, B has two. So when it corresponds, it has to go from M to N. So segment AB is congruent to segment MN. Somebody other than Esther. Esther's been doing great. Julian's been doing great. Somebody other than them. Can somebody give me another corresponding pair of sides? Go ahead. Lucy, did you raise your hand? Go ahead.
A, C, and
Wait. So segment AC, which is 3 tick marks. Go ahead.
and M.
MP, 3 tick marks. Do I want to write segment AC is congruent to segment PM? Can I do this? Don't copy this down yet. Can I say that segment AC is congruent to segment PM?
No,
Why not?
because it's not going from the like one.
Yep, the one arc
Yeah.
to the 3 arcs, one arc to the 3 arcs. It has to go the same direction. That's super critical in geometry. Because the only way for it to be exactly the same is to start exactly in the same place.
But if it starts at A and goes down to C, wouldn't it be starting at the same place?
Which is M goes to P, not P going to M.
Oh.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, give me another one. Ella,
CD is
segment CD
to PT.
is congruent to what?
Segment PT.
Segment PT, perfect. Daniel, we got one more, man.
BD
Segment BD. Go ahead.
with NT.
With what?
NT.
NT. Perfect. Have I lost anybody yet?
No.
Okay, so far so good? So far so good. Corresponding angles. Remember, if they're congruent figures, the angles have to be congruent. The corresponding angles have to be congruent. Give me one.
Wait.
Well, that's a side. I want an angle that's congruent to another angle that's corresponding. So now we're doing corresponding angles. So give me a letter. Choose a letter on this one.
On A.
Oh, somewhere under here. Choose a letter. Which one?
B.
B. Angle B is congruent to what? Angle what?
N.
Angle N. Because they both have 2 marks. Now, if I never gave you these pictures, you could figure it out from right here. What does B match up with? N. What does C match up with? P. D with T. Oh, D with T again. Oh my gosh. A with M. A with... Whoa, wait a minute. Just by looking at these, I can also find the angles, but we'll get there. Okay. So looking at the pictures, give me another angle that's congruent to another angle. Go ahead, Esther.
Angle A and angle M.
Angle A, 1 arc. Angle M, 1 arc. Okay. Give me another one. Somebody. Angle D is congruent to angle T. Last but not least,
Angle P to angle C and angle P.
angle C is congruent to angle P. Beautiful. Okay, now, there is something called a congruence statement. The congruence statement is saying this figure is congruent to this figure. So if I look at this one, can I say A, B, C, D? Can I call this figure A, B, C, D?
Yeah.
Yeah. A,
Wait.
no.
So if I didn't show you this, and I said A to B to C to D, is that the order this is going? A to B, does it go down to C?
No.
Oh.
A, B, D, C.
A, B, D, C is how I would say this figure. So I would say A, B, C, D is congruent to. A, B, C, D is congruent to. Now I'm looking just at these angles. And notice I'm not looking up there. M, that's an M, N, T, P. How do we know that? Because A matches with A, B matches with N, D matches with T, C matches with P. Everybody still with me? Yes, ma'am.
The D and C are supposed to be the other way.
Oh, yeah, they are. Even after I said that, then I wrote it wrong. Good catch. Okay, now, what else do I teach when I do these? If you're given a congruent statement, I'm going to number them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're given a congruent statement without looking at these, okay, I'm covering this up. Immediately looking at this congruent statement, I can say angle A is congruent to angle M because 1 matches with 1. I can say segment BD is congruent to segment NT because 2, 3 matches up with 2, 3. 1, 4, AC is congruent to segment MP. Do you see how I can use those numbers to match them up? This is for any, this is for any figure. Take a moment, make sure you have this copied down. So these are definitions. So I gave a definition for congruent circles. This is the definition for congruent polygons. Now, what is the main purpose of what we're doing? Congruent triangles. The definition of congruent triangles is this. CPCTC. You're going to be seeing those abbreviations a lot. CPCTC. The definition for congruent triangles is this. All corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. But CPCTC says corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So if we have congruent triangles, then their corresponding parts, whether it's sides or angles, are congruent. May I erase the stuff about the congruent polygon?
Yeah.
All of this is good. We have this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You already got it?
Kind of, yeah. Okay. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. I want you to draw both triangles and label it correctly to show me all of the corresponding parts and the corresponding angles, the corresponding sides with the correct markings, those tick marks, those angle measures. I want to see both triangles with all of the tick marks to say this one matches with this one. Oh, this one matches with this one. This one matches with this one. How are you going to show that with triangles? Go ahead.
Just put random tick marks.
Not random,
Numbers.
based off of what this is saying. So let's do it together. Okay? So, first things first. When I have a congruent statement, what should I do? Immediately, what should I do under those letters?
Numbers.
Put your numbers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It says they're both triangles, right? It's saying they're congruent, which means they're going to look exactly the same. Correct? Everybody still with me? So if I make this triangle A, B, C, where does D go?
Top.
On top, because it matches up with what? It corresponds with A, which is 1. Okay, what about F?
C.
With C, it corresponds with C. So it goes over here on the right, which means E is left over. Okay. If I just showed you this, could you guarantee me that these are congruent? They look the same, but in geometry we never want to assume. Okay? Which angle matches up with A?
E.
D. So I'm going to say angle A is congruent to angle D. This is how I'm making those notations. Then what? What's my next angle that I can match up?
B and E.
B and E. But how many should I put at B? 2, because we don't know that B is the same as A. We only know that B and E are the same. So it's not random markings, but it's markings that I'm putting in there. Does that make sense? Okay, now what?
C and F.
C and E. How many?
C and F.
C and F. 3 of them. Okay, are we done?
Tick marks.
Oh, now we have to talk about the sides. 1, 2 is AB. 1, 2 is DE. 2, 3 is BC. 2, 3 is EF. AC, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's how you would show that those triangles are congruent. Everybody with me? Okay. So this is example 2. Measure of angle A, bless you, is 57 degrees. The measure of angle F is 42 degrees. AC is equal to 12 inches. EF is equal to 10 inches. Okay, go. So I've now given you enough information to find all of the missing things. If these triangles are congruent, I wouldn't even need to give you this. As long as I gave you this, you could solve this problem. So what I would do is, I'd start putting them into the triangle and saying, where do they match up? Because congruent triangles, the corresponding parts are congruent. So, copy it down. That's first. If you haven't yet copied it down, I need you to copy it down. This is the last thing that we're going to be doing today. Okay. So hopefully we have them written down. Based off of what I've given you, this is 57 degrees. This is 42 degrees. AC is 12 inches. EF is 10 inches. Okay. Immediately, fill in on the other triangle what you know. If this is 57, what does D have to be? 57 degrees. So immediately I know that this is 57 degrees. Okay, but it asks about angle B. Well, if angle F is 42, this is also 42. Do we have enough information to find B?
Yeah,
Why?
because both angles would be.
No. What do we know about triangles?
They equal to 180.
They equal up to 180. So if I have two of them, could I find my third?
Yeah.
Let's do that. So 57 plus 42 should give me 109? No, 99. Somebody do that. My mind's not working, but it should be 99. 180 minus 99 should be 81. Yes? So angle B is 81 degrees, which means angle E is 81 degrees. Oh man, do we see how we're doing this? So angle E is 81. Do you see how I used to find B, also to find angle E? Because they're the exact same, because they're corresponding. DF has 3 tick marks. AC, oh, it's 12. Nice and easy, it's 12 inches. What about BC? 10 inches. Corresponding parts matter. What questions do we have?
How did you find B again?
So, all 3 interior angles of a triangle have to add up to what?
180.
So 57 plus 42, plus we didn't know what B was, equals 180. So we added these two up, got 99. 180 minus 99 gave me 81. Okay? So, my original plan was to give you this whole thing. You are not going to do this whole thing. I would like you to try, just on the front, numbers 1 through 10. Just numbers 1 through 10. Okay? So, if you'd like to do this, my friend, take a look, pause it. We're doing 1 through 10. Okay, guys. Go ahead and get started. If you need help, let me know. Love you.